This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the
San Diego Padres.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Padre fan? Welcome to your Padres POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. Oh, 2 down, 1 to go, right? 2 in a row over the Arizona Diamondbacks. 5-1, the Padres win tonight. They took care of biz early in the first inning. Fernando Tatis Jr. homers for the third straight game. Yeah, and a 2-run shot from Xander Bogaerts right after that. Michael King, sharp, 2 2/3 innings, strikes out 3. Bullpen tune-up, only a solo homer allowed in this game. But, man, they got an inning from Estrada. They got an inning from Morejon. They got an inning from Miller. And they got an inning from Robert Suarez. Tune-ups for all those guys. Tune-ups for all those guys as they get ready for the playoffs coming up Tuesday against the Chicago Cubs, who clinched. The Cubs clinched, not the clubs clinched. The Cubs clinched home field against the Padres in the wild card round today with a win over the Brewers, and the Brewers clinched home field over the Phillies when the Phillies lost today. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But, man, the Padres catching fire at the right time. Elias Diaz adds a 2-run homer later, but in a later AB, he came up lame, checked his swing, left side, kind of tweaked it a little bit. He came out of the game. Remember, they are already out without Ramon Laureano. They're already without Jason Adam. And Mike Shildt saying, hey, we're going to carry all of our starting pitchers into the playoffs. So all 5 guys in the rotation, plus all the bullpen guys. I thought maybe they might want another hitter, but no. Anyway, Padres POSTCAST 5-1. We're going to bring you everything that happened in the game tonight. Homers, great pitching, tune-ups, one more game before they head to Wrigley. And I'm going to talk about their path. I'm going to talk about their playoff path, the Cubs and the Brewers in their bracket. How about that? Dodgers would get the Phillies in the second round. All right. And we would get the Brewers. Think about that. I think the Brewers are not as tough a draw as the Phillies, even without Zach Wheeler. But we can talk about that on the show as well. Thank you for making us your first watch or listen of your day every day. Of course, I do the postcast, and then Javier Arraez does the podcast. So postcast, podcast every single day, same channel, same platforms. YouTube, I'm on right after the games live. And then YouTube, we upload, you download. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and, of course, you download OPP, no OTT. It's over the top television, it's Roku, and it's free as well. Come on in with the comments, like, subscribe, anything you want. Questions, we have answers, however you would like. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Padres POSTCAST. Let's roll on your Saturday 5-1 pods over the Arizona Diamondbacks.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Hey, now, what do you say now? I think something just popped in my studio. Did you hear that? Pop, 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 pop. Look at that audience. We got some people up in here. And what a win for the Padres again. They have done an outstanding job as of late, putting everything together. And you think about what happened tonight, it's really just a simple bit of execution early. They jump on the Diamondbacks. Fernando smashes one up into the basket. Bogey a couple of hitters later. And by the way, Luis Arraez in between. He extends his hitting streak, Major League best, to 15 games. One more game on the season for Louis, and he'll carry that hit streak on into 2026. Third consecutive game with a homer for Fernando. Diaz with a 2-run homer. He's been hitting the ball well lately as well. Of course, the Cubs won earlier in the day, so the Pods do not get home field in the wild card. Really don't think that matters all that much against the Padres, but I really do think that they're going to win that series. I have a gut that tells me they're going to win this series. Now, with Michael King only going 2 2/3 today, and you play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Chi-Town roll now. So if you're up, Pavetta's going to get the ball in game 1. Javi and I were talking yesterday, and we weren't sure about that. And I don't know if I'd have done that, but you had to do with what the rotation did, and you needed to potentially win this game today because you didn't know if the Cubs were going to win or lose, and you could have had home field. So with the Cubs winning earlier, and that's a wrap, Doc say it's a wrap, it's a wrap. Michael King only goes 2 2/3, struck out 3. But again, you got Estrada, you got Morejon, you got Miller, you got Suarez. You got them all in inning today. Nice job by Mike Shildt there. See, I do say nice things about the manager, Mike Shildt. Look at Bogaerts and Fernando there. First inning mashing from those two guys. And really excited to see this offense starting to get going. Want to see Manny? Manny is just struggling heading into the postseason. I'll tell you that. Manny Machado. And I don't even think Manny Machado has had a real good offensive game in about 2 weeks. Maybe about 2 weeks ago was the last one for Manny. And, I'd like to see him get going. Of course, he rested today, and Manny knows his body, knows himself. That might have come from him. So Fernando with the homer, Bogey the homer, Diaz the homer as well, and they have really started to hit the ball well, the Padres. Something on the end of my nose there. I don't know. It's kind of bothering me. I don't know if you see it. Anyway, the Padres with a lot of offensive firepower right now down the stretch. Michael King looked good. All those relievers look good. And when I look at that path, Cubs-Brewers, would you rather go Cubs-Brewers or would you rather go Mets-Phillies if you're the Dodgers? Think about it. The Dodgers and the Brewers have buys. Would you rather have the Brewers in your bracket or the Phillies? So think about that. Philly and LA are in the same bracket. Philly and LA are in the same bracket. It's going to be the Mets or the Reds. The Mets and Reds are tied with 1 game left, kind of like the Yankees, Blue Jays, right? And the Guardians and Tigers in the American League, East and Central. Red Sox only a game apart from, it'll be either the Red Sox or the Tigers or Guardians. And then you have the Yankees right there too. So the Yankees could be the top wild card in the American League. So come on in, smash that subscribe. While you're on the YouTube, we can get you in the comments. People really having a good time tonight. Edgar, man, I know we clinched and these games don't, quote, matter, but I'm so tired of Schilt pulling pitchers early, like when they are 1 out away from finishing an inning. Well, with King, you don't want to have him throwing too many pitches. More than likely, those are established pitch counts. And I'm with you, Edgar, but more than likely, those are for established pitch counts. And you see that Sanchez came out of the Philly game? Yeah, and they already lost Zach Wheeler. Man, Philly's not going anywhere. What a year for Schwarber, though. Jaybird 602, bring on the Cubs, LFGSD. Billy 68, keep the faith, Friar faithful. Edgar says it's nice seeing Estrada do well today. Yeah, he needed that. He needed a little confidence booster. Not sure why Miller in the 7th, Estrada in the 8th, probably to do with the lineup. Is Diaz hurt? Will he be available for tomorrow? No, Diaz won't play tomorrow. I'm almost 100% positive. Tweaked his left side on a check swing. How about Laureano? Same thing. Fouls off a pitch and didn't even make contact with his hand with the ball, and it broke his finger. So you guys always come strong in the chat on the YouTube. So thank you so much. If you're listening on wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever, you can leave messages for there as well. Sub for us as well. Same with Roku down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. Arraez, 15-game hit streak. Tati, party, 3 straight games with homers for Fernando. 7 homers in his last 20 games for Tatis Jr. Very, very nice for him there. And Michael King with the tune-up. So nice job by the Pods tonight in all facets. They won for the 6th time in 7 games, and they are rolling as they get set for the playoffs. Michael King only threw 49 pitches, probably on a 50-pitch count. He said he would manage the starters this weekend. Schilt did, because they're taking all 5 guys. I don't know what you need Dylan Cease for or Randy Vasquez. Now, maybe, just maybe. Now, I know you got a ton of relievers in the bullpen, right? So will you need Dylan Cease? Now, I know why Schilte's carrying 5 starters in, I believe. I believe Mike Schilt is taking 5 starters into the playoff rotation because obviously someone could get ripped early. And look, whether it's you, Darvish, or Dylan Cease that gets the ball in game 3, I believe if you're up 1-0, you save King back a day. If you're down 1-0, you got to come back with King in game 2. If Pivetta loses game 1, entirely possible. Pivetta loses game 1, you got to come back with King in game 2. If Pivetta wins game 1, maybe you wait until game 3 and you throw Darvish in game 2. I'm going Darvish over Cease. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know. Anyway, interesting conundrum, to say the least. Neither guy really deserves it, honestly speaking, but you got to give it to one of them, and I'm not doing Randy Vasquez. I wouldn't have done Pivetta game 1. I'd have done King, but again, 2 2/3 today. He's not going to be able to pitch on Tuesday. 2 days rest. Tuesday's 3 days. Come back on 3 days rest after throwing 2 2/3 on Wednesday. If they're down 1-0, yes. If they're up 1-0, give them the extra day. Go with Dylan Cease or you, Darvish. And I go Darvish in game 2. All right, real quick before we hit the break, today's game was over early. When was?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Very early in today's game, in the bottom of the 1st inning, after Michael King, with 1 out, gave up a single, and then a hit by pitch, 2 on and 2 out. He got out of the inning. Padres come up bottom of the 1st, and that is when this game turned on the Fernando Tatis home run on the 2nd pitch of the bottom of the 1st inning off Rodriguez. 413 feet way up into the basket of the upper deck, made it 1-0 Padres, and the Diamondbacks would score a run later, so that run didn't really win the game. Wasn't a game-winning run. Eventually it was, after Luis Arraez extended his hitting streak to 15 with a single to center field. Xander, Bogaerts with a bogey blast up into the 2nd deck, also into the basket where Fernando's landed, and then they gave the elbow smash that you see right here. behind me, and it was 3-0, and that's the turning point because the Diamondbacks only scored 1 run. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. It's your Padres postcast. It's your team every day. 5-1 the final. They smoked the Diamondbacks, who they eliminated yesterday, going to Chicago to play the Cubbies on Tuesday at Wrigley Field. 3-game series, all of them in Chicago. Game 1 more than likely has to be Nick Pivetta. Then you go game 2. I say if you're up 1-0, you save Michael King an extra day. You go Yu Darvish or Dylan Cease in game 2. If that's me, I go Darvish. Then game 3, Michael King. If you're down 1-0 and Pivetta loses game 1, then you come back with King game 2. And then game 3, you might not see. But if you do, you end up with that Yu Darvish or Dylan Cease conundrum again. And he's carrying all 5 guys. I think because if a starter gets ripped early, he's going to need another starter to come into that game. And without Jason Adam, it lengthens that game a little bit more. You have Jason Adam, it really shortens the game. So you're really going to miss Adam. You're really going to miss Ramon Laureano. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, but we shall see. I would never count this team out as tough as they are. As tough as they are. And Estrada had a good outing today. Miller had a great outing today. Morejon did, and so did Suarez, all scoreless. So add those names to the King tune-up up top. Grease here with you. Padres Postcast. Going to take a break. I'm not going anywhere. Neither are you. It's Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. And I'm going to tell you about my friends and our sponsors at Rugiet. You've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis, right? I mean, obviously, you're not living under a rock somewhere. So you've heard of Viagra or Cialis. And what I'm trying to do is figure out, there we go. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time you meet Rugiet Go Long. That's right. That's exactly where Rugiet's Go Long comes in. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula so you can get hard and go the distance. The effects can last up to 36 hours. Be careful, ladies. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your shipment ships discreetly right to your door, and that is a big, big thing in today's world. Discreet, right? Level up. If you're ready, and I know you are, your confidence in the bedroom, head to Rugiet.com, Rugiet, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's Rugiet, Rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code so they know we sent you, and you get that deal. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season here in full swing. Look at those Chargers killing it with Herbert. Harbaugh pulling the strings, right? FanDuel is ready to make sure that you are ready to get your action on the action. With a can't-miss offer from FanDuel right now, hey, it's your tomorrow. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, what do you mean if? Come on, have some faith. You're going to get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Now, how does that work across the app? It's pretty simple. With FanDuel, you can bet however you want. You can do player props. You can build the same game parlay, or even jump in as the live action unfolds with live betting. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, it's easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to your Sunday. So, are you ready? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, yours, every single day. All right, Grease here with you. We gave you the turning point. 3 runs in the first inning for the Pods. Fernando a homer, Arraez a single, Bogey a homer. Bang. Michael King, diggy down with the King. Stake to the 3-zip lead before he even touched the rubber. 49 pitches. Hey, 2 2/3 innings, 3 strikeouts for King. Gave up no runs today. The most important thing, could not have gone any better today for Mike Schilt and the Padres. To get the King scoreless inning, or 2 2/3, right? So King goes 2 2/3, gives you one, it gives up 1 hit, walks 2, strikes out 3. Want to be a little bit more sharp with the walks. King, Cease, Darvish, walks been killing them. Now Darvish giving up solo homers his last start. That's a great thing. So King with a good outing. Matsui, 2 1/3, gave up 1 earned run on a homer. Also walked 2. He got the win, though, to go to 3-1 on the season. So Yuki Matsui gets the win. And then it was Morejon, then it was Mason Miller, then it was Jeremiah Estrada, and then it was Robert Suarez, each with a scoreless inning. 3 strikeouts apiece for Miller and Estrada. Estrada did give up a hit, but each guy struck out the side. Suarez got the K to end the game. Meanwhile, hitting-wise, Fernando 1 for 2, had the homer. Also walked in this game, came out for Bryce Johnson a little bit later. Defensive replacement. Most guys probably going to rest tomorrow. Lue, oh, baby. He went 1 for 4. And Luis Arraez, 15-game hit streak, leading the Pods into the playoffs after that 4-hit game yesterday. Fernando and Arraez mashing at the top of the order, which means Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill, they're going to have guys on base. Bogaerts hitting behind him. Bogaerts with a 2-run shot today. And also Elias Diaz with a 2-run homer. Ryan O'Hearn had a hit. Cronenworth had a hit. Man, they are peaking right now offensively. In case you're wondering about Arizona, the hell with them. Nobody really cares about them. Although Rodriguez, 6 innings, 6 hits, tagged for 5 earned runs, did strike out 6, but 3 home runs for the Padres, who have been mashing the ball. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, or 7 out of 8, whatever it is. All right, really quickly, let's hit the comments. We're live on YouTube right after the game, so thank you for making us your first watch or listen, along with Locked On Padres podcast with Javier Arraez. We're on all the same platforms: YouTube, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, wherever you get the audio version, and, of course, over-the-top television, free on Roku. So think about this. Live after the games, we're right here on YouTube, and we come into the comments. Edgar says, what about having you start? And if he can give you 3 clean innings, going to Cease until the 6 or 7. I don't know if I'd use Darvish and Cease in the same game. Now, a best out of 7 series, very different. You need 4 starters, maybe, unless you bring your game 1 starter back on 3 days rest. But why would you do that with any of these guys when you have a guy like you, Darvish? I'd have to go Darvish over Cease. 7-game series, I'm going King, Pivetta, Darvish, Cease. 3-game series, I'm going Pivetta. They win game 1, I'm going Darvish game 2 with Cease in back of them, right? And then game 3, and you might not need him. I mean, whoever you need to back them up. Like if it's tough in game 1, I'm telling the other guy out of Darvish and Cease, I'm going to say, all right, guys, behind closed doors, if I'm Mike Schilt, I'm going to say, yo. Schilty needs a little bit of this in him. I'm going to say, yo. Hey, here's what's up, okay? Game 1, Nick Pivetta, he deserves it all year long, right? You go by that logic. And I'm going to sit those guys down, and I'm going to say, look, here's what's going to happen. Game 2, if we're up game 1, and I'm first things first, I'm going to pick my 3 guys, and I'm going to say, all right, Pivetta gets game 1, and my other 2 starters in the series are going to be Michael King, and they're going to be you, Darvish. And I tell Dylan Cease, look, bro, no offense, I just can't trust you. Your starts give me heart attacks within the start. You can strike out 10, but you'll also have a 5-spot hung on you, walks, then homers. Darvish lately hasn't been walking. He's been giving up solo shots, whereas Cease will, give up walks and give up the big innings. So Cease is my 4th starter. Randy Vasquez is going to be brought in too. So they're going to have both those guys. Randy Vasquez is my long reliever if I'm getting my butt kicked and I need innings chewed. That's Randy Vasquez. Dylan Cease, on the other hand, he's the backup guy. In game 1, if Pivetta gets ripped early, I'm going right to Cease. Game 2, whoever starts, they get ripped early, I'm going to Cease, or game 3. Whichever one, right? Cease and Vasquez, they're my backup starters. Cease 1, Vasquez 2. All right? So what that means is we win game 1 with Pivetta, then that means game 2 is going to be a skip day for King. You don't want to bring him back too soon, right? He's going to have 3 days rest. So if they lose game 1, you got to go King game 2. You have to. If they win game 1, you give King the extra day and you go Darvish in game 2. Maybe he goes Cease, but anyway, all those conversations will be had behind the scenes. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. 5-1, the final today. The Padres win. And man, don't forget about Locked On Padres podcast, myself with the postcast. But okay, before we get on out of here, we got a couple things to do. Short time to do them in. First thing I want to remind you of is Javi's going to have great episodes this week. He's going to be on with me every day after the playoffs. I'm going to be on with him. We're going to be doing specials. We're going to be doing shorts. And we want you guys right here. We want to smash that subscribe. We want to smash and come on in the comments. And we want to get those subs, those likes, everything up on all the platforms, wherever you are watching or listening right now. Let's all go on this ride together. I love the bracket for the Padres. And before I hit that with tomorrow's finale, let me just real quick give you one more thing from today's game, and that would be your...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Player of the game for today's game. Man, oh man, this is a tough one. So I'm going to go Xander Bogaerts. He's been playing great at shortstop. He hit the 2-run homer that made the difference in the game today, at least with the score. Fernando hit the solo shot, homer in 3 straight games after the illness. So that's great to see from Fernando. And the first game was before the illness. So think about that. Came back, The illness didn't affect him. Came back almost as hot as he started, right? So Fernando cutting down on the strikeouts too. So Fernando had the homer, but Bogey with the 2-run shot. He's the star of the game today, with honorable mention for Michael King, for Jeremiah Estrada, for Adrian Morejon, for Mason Miller, and for Robert Suarez. Even without Jason Adam, it's a 5-inning game for the Padres. I just hope Mike Schilt doesn't outthink himself and mess around with the bullpen too much in the playoffs. Why does Miller get the 7th, Estrada the 8th? Estrada should be a 5th-inning guy, Morejon a 6th or 7th, Miller 7th, 8th, and Suarez 8th, 9th, if you go by that, which I think, by the way, Suarez and Miller should be flip-flopped, and Miller should be the closer. He's your most dominant reliever. He should be the closer, but it's going to go some combination of Estrada, Morejon, Miller, and Suarez. And by the way, depending upon where you are in the lineup, like let's say you got 3, 4, 5 coming up in the 8th, then you go Miller in the 8th, that's fine by me. He gets the 8th or the 9th, wherever the better part of the order is, right? That's what I would say. And then Suarez. But game on the line, 1-run lead, 9th inning, couple guys on. Do you trust Robert Suarez? I don't. I do not. I trust Miller a lot more. I trust Suarez a bit, because he succeeds way more often than he fails, but his failed saves, blown saves have been large, man. What about Morgan and Bradley? I don't know. I don't know about the roster. You're going to have to watch Javi for that, because Morgan and Bradley, and Morgan's been really good at times this year. And then you got Peralta and Matsui. I would like to have more bats. And now Diaz too. Who's your backup catcher? What do you have for Wood coming off the bench? Are you going to sit a guy like O'Hearn and hope that you can pinch hit him later, or Gavin Sheets off the bench as a pinch hitter? Bryce Johnson has to be there as a pinch runner, as a defensive replacement in the outfield maybe. And with Laureano out and Gavin Sheets possibly playing left, maybe O'Hearn plays left. I don't know. Whatever it is, though, whatever it is, you're going to need Bryce Johnson as a late inning defensive replacement. So I don't know. I don't know how many pitchers they're going to take, but we will be talking about that here on the channels as the days unfold and we get ready for Tuesday's playoff series against the Cubs. So again, to recap, 5-1 Padres win, season finale tomorrow against the D-backs. Did Schulte announce the starter after the game? I didn't see the press conference. Anybody know? Let's see. They did not have one announced beforehand. Here we go. JP Sears gets the mop-up duty against Brandon Pfaadt. He's a stinky Pfaadt. 13-8 for Brandon Pfaadt, and he's got a 5 ERA. Sears, I know that was lame, childish humor, but it's really funny. JP Sears 8-11 with a 5.12, and man, oh man, the Diamondbacks got to be wishing they didn't trade Suarez now. How about that, man? And they finished just out of the playoffs. Still, though, the Reds and the Mets are tied, and the winner goes to Chavez de Stinkhole to play the Dodgers. Dodgers are in the same bracket as the Phillies, as the Brewers clinched home field today, even though they lost to the Cubs. So Cubs, Brewers, and your own bracket. Now, if you're a Cubs fan, you're feeling good because you feel confident about the Padres. But if you're a Brewers fan, you're feeling good because of the fact that you're the top seed in the playoffs. But Padres and Cubs are both feeling good about the Brewers because they both just beat up on them. And the Cubs might sweep them as well. And the Padres hit 2 out of 3 or won 2 out of 3. So real quick, I am going to... All right, here we go. That was early April. When was I in Vegas? There we go. Padres versus Cubs. I know the Padres have a better interleague record. Where's the season series? There we go. Season series. Let's see. The Cubs won the first 2. The Padres won the third. Padres, yeah, they split the season series 3-3. Man, that's going to be a good series. Pivetta game 1. If they win game 1, I go Darvish game 2, and then King game 3. If they lose game 1, King 2, and then Darvish 3 with Cease and Vasquez backing them up. Long relief, and then the bullpen ready for that short relief. This is going to be fun. I got to finish up the show here. The position guys are just going to have to nut up and play every game, says Edgar. Well, that could be a possibility, my friend. So that's going to be fun. Let's see what the odds are on this game with JP on the bump against Pfaadt. There's no odds for tomorrow's game. 12:10 first pitch, though. We are here right after. We're going to come on, baby, finish what you started on. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. 162 games. I think I answered the bell for 153 of them, 154 unofficially, but it's been a ride. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to take a stand. Thank you for being here, by the way, on YouTube and wherever you get your audio version, plus on Roku. Don't forget Javier Arraez with your Locked On Padres podcast. And do not forget Locked On MLB every single night. Locked On MLB Game Night. Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Locked On MLB Game Night. Every single game, every single night. local analysis on a national scale every night until someone holds up the World Series trophy. And that is it. Doc say it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm done. You got it, Edgar. You are welcome. Says thank you for the post-game analysis. I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease. And the Padres win for the 7th time in 8 games, and they defeat the Diamondbacks for the 2nd game in a row. Again, going to Chicago on Tuesday for game 1, but what a nice job today. King with a brilliant outing, 2 2/3 scoreless with 3 strikeouts. Estrada, Morejon, Miller, and Suarez, scoreless innings, tune-ups, if you will. Fernando, a homer, Bogey, a 2-run blast, and Elias Diaz, a 2-run homer. If you're just joining us, he tweaked his side on a check swing and left the game. That's your backup catcher. And so that could be very dangerous for the Padres to not have a backup catcher heading into the playoffs. Make sure you watch Javier Arraez and Padres podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network for more. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. Keep your game tight and your mind right. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. 5-1 Padres beat the D-backs. We'll be here tomorrow, 12:10 first pitch, right around 2:30 with the postcast. Until then, keep your game tight and your mind right, baby. Keep watching the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, yours every day. Grease out.